Welcome back, everybody. This is Kara Crossway-Brindle. Welcome back to another episode of the Pivoting Practice. This video series is all about therapist entrepreneurs who are changing the narrative. We're not just doing client work anymore, we're doing amazing projects. Today, I have Kim with us, and she's going to talk about coaching, which I know a lot of you have had questions around. So I'm really excited to have her as a guest. Kim, thanks for being here.
Yay, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about who you are, what you're doing now, because I know you're doing some awesome work.
Oh, yeah. So I'm like pivoting in this moment. You're catching me like mid pivot big time right now.
Uh,
So there's that. I am actually completely moving out of psychotherapy as of this week.
oh my
Well,
gosh.
technically the end of the month, but everybody's learning about this change this week and
Yeah.
moving completely into coaching, but actually I'm looking into other avenues of reaching people and supporting people, supporting women specifically.
Amazing. What a
Yeah.
big change. How do you feel about it if I'm allowed to ask you on film?
Yes. Yeah. So it's very scary in some ways, like taking a leap of faith. It's very exciting because I get to do what I want to do instead of like feeling like I'm boxed into what I have been doing for the last 15 years. And yeah, it's also like heartbreaking to tell people that I'm no longer going to be seeing them. So it's like chock full of all the big emotions.
Absolutely. Well, I imagine as they see you building up these amazing things, they'll have their own emotions about it, but hopefully a supportive transition.
Yes, they're
I
all
feel
very
that.
supportive. Yeah, and that almost makes it harder sometimes because like, but I love you so much. I don't actually want to stop working with you, but I'm ready to do this
Yes.
next, state thing, this next stage of my work.
Exactly. Well, I know that as we've gotten to know each other offline or off of recording, I knew this was coming, something you've been building towards. So, what inspired this pivot towards coaching and some of the things you're building now?
Yeah. So I found that, the women I was working with, I've been working with women and doing kind of like women's empowerment, helping women kind of like become their best selves, expand into the lives that they want, have freedom, confidence, whatever they're looking for. And I just found over time that they were doing this, like kind of everybody kind of went through the same process in the work with me. And I decided instead of walking each person through it personally, I just would make a course that explained all of it. So I didn't have to do the psycho ed in session with clients.
No.
So I created this course, and then also I was able to create a program, which is beneficial for me in a lot of ways. Like A, I can share information more easily. B, I can have a community of women that are working together on their growth process.
Mm.
C, I can make more money in that type of environment where I'm working with multiple people in a program. I'm not spending a ton of sessions explaining things. I'm, doing less hours and seeing people and still providing like a very high quality of work. So
Yeah.
it's beneficial to them. Like I was struggling with kind of the way psychotherapy is like open-ended and not structured for, traditionally.
hmm
And I wanted to be able to provide like really, really awesome support for people in a short amount of time.
Right.
Like, I think of myself back when I was like going through a divorce and I'm like spinning my wheels for years, working with a therapist. It's like supposed to be amazing. And I just didn't get anywhere. And
Mm.
now looking back, I'm like, I needed education. Like I needed somebody that would like tell me what my shit was and help me like work through it. I need a group of women around me that were doing the same kind of work. And I needed to do like really deep embodiment work. So I kind of put all of that together into this program. And yeah, now I do like much faster work with people
Yeah.
and I work with like awesome people that are motivated. And yeah, coaching allows me a lot of freedom that, you know, psychotherapy doesn't ethically allow.
Yes, exactly. So for our viewers who are kind of reading between the lines, Kim is very graciously saying this, or as some people would say it differently. But like coaching allows the freedom and the flexibility to do some of the things that we can't do under the licensure of psychotherapy, which is why I think so many of our colleagues are considering coaching. And some people say it's a bad word, and that's why I'm so happy you're here to show the other side of the coin, which is what are the opportunities that come from this? What makes this worthwhile? So that kind of segues into the rewarding question, which I feel like you've started to answer with listing off some of these things of like, this is all the good stuff of coaching.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to highlight for the rewards of it?
Um, yeah. So the other thing that's kind of cool about coaching is like people come to coaching because they want directness and they want to get stuff done quickly, like they're goals oriented. So people that generally seek out coaching are often at a developmental level or where they're like ready to hear, here is my stuff. And
Yeah.
like, they want you to tell you what their blind spots are and they want you to tell you how to get out of it. And so it's kind of like, as opposed to psychotherapy, which is very insight oriented, it's very much a holding space for clients to figure out their own stuff. Coaching is like, they're ready. Like you just give them the stuff and they go with it. And so it does also cater to, I believe, in my experience, like a higher developmental level of client. And people need therapy, people need coaching, people need both. I've often worked with both at the same time for myself. So it's not that like one negates the other. But if you're somebody that likes to be direct with people, like I was always told I was like brutally honest when I was younger.
Okay.
you know, uh if you're like me, then coaching is a great place for you because you can just be like, here you go. You don't have to wait for the client to necessarily like know what their stuff is. You can help them see it. I mean, gently,
Yeah.
not like abrasively, but
Sure. Like the word that's popping in my head is like efficient. Like it's very efficient the time that you spend with these folks that are willing to do the work because they're
yeah.
already invested emotionally. Is there any challenge to coaching that you want to name for our viewers who are considering it? Something that's a little bit harder, the edges outside of the ethics that we've already named a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, like I think the biggest thing I run into is if somebody is not ready for that level of work, then they will struggle to gain what they need to from a coaching relationship. So you have to be really careful about screening people if you're going to do coaching with them to make sure they don't have like a huge like trauma history that's unresolved, or
Right.
they don't need a ton of like weekly support, because that's not an appropriate coaching client. Like in my opinion, a coaching client is somebody that's already pretty stable and doesn't need to see you, but chooses to see you because they want to grow.
Yeah, I think that's a great distinction, especially for people who are considering this avenue of how to build that up and build that coaching program. Where can people find you if they want to tap into you as a resource or talk to you further, consult with you on how you built a coaching program? What would be best?
Yeah, I can be reached at on my website. It's www.kimmasal.com. I don't know if you need
Perfect.
to
And I'll make
use
sure.
W anymore.
I know some people say it, some don't. So it's funny that you mentioned that. I'll make sure to put it here at the bottom of the video so people don't have to figure out how to spell your last name because I know that I always misspell it with the S's.
Yeah, there's a lot of M's and a lot of S's. Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
I appreciate that. Any last thoughts for our viewers who are considering coaching as a direction to diversify and possibly fight burnout?
Yeah, just, I think it's a great avenue for people that feel like they're hitting a ceiling in psychotherapy, that want to grow, especially like have the creativity to grow into something different. Coaching is awesome. I love that there's not like a big, it never feels like there's a ceiling there.
Yeah, like so many possibilities from what I've watched you do on just social media, even. I'm excited to see where you go next. And although your
Yeah.
clients are sad to lose you, you've got some people who are going to be so happy to have you here in the future. I can only imagine.
But we'll see where everything goes. Who knows?
Absolutely. Well, Kim, thank you so much for highlighting the pros, the cons, the challenges, the wonderful things of coaching. And I really appreciate you having this candid conversation with me because I know so many of our viewers just have a big question mark about coaching. So thank you for your wisdom.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Viewers, stay tuned for more videos of therapists that are entrepreneurs and diversifying, battling burnout, and branching out. We'll see you in the next episode.